Happy Comic Book Eve or Loki Eve finale tomorrow. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all ready for new comic book day. However, this is not a new comic book day show. We're going to be talking Grail versus Grail. We got the first semifinal going, so this is going to be a lot of fun. We've got a special guest, so that's always interesting. We got 4 people, so if there's a tiebreaker, well, we're going to need the chat to, give us a vote. So, yeah, let's get started. Let's bring in the people. What's something I was going to say? Oh, yeah. If you're a shop that has a sign that says, we will price your books when you bring them to the counter, I will never go into your shop. Just know that, okay? So, yeah, let's bring in the crew here. Uh-oh, Face isn't even here. All right, well, let's bring in Mr. BC, the newest member to the show, to the panel. What's up, brother?
Dude, I'm all with that statement, so I'm bowing down to you. Good stuff. What's up, guys, man?
It's crazy how, King of Golden State actually posted it, or I think it was Bronze and Silver Age posted it, and then it just went crazy. Yeah, for the weekend, and then more and more shops kept doing it, and people were like, yeah, well, we're not doing it. We're not doing that, so fuck it. But, yeah, I've always been like that, man. I've had that happen here locally. I've had that happen, not too far from here, and I've walked out. It just is what it is, man. So, yeah, if you're one of those shops, hopefully business keeps rolling for you, but I will not enter any shop that has that, so unfortunately. Okay, so Face is back, so let's bring him in. Face, what's up, brother?
What's going on? Yeah, I'll go in there and waste your damn time, grab a whole stack, have you price them, and walk out.
That's right.
Yeah, so, gotta say, obviously, we got a show. Obviously, it's New Comic Book Day Eve. Yes, don't try to trademark it. I'm already doing that. But we also got Loki. So if you're on the West Coast, obviously in a few hours, you are going to be watching the show. As always, when we do our Tuesday shows, I will say this. Please, please, please do not spoil it for us on the East Coast. I don't want to wake up to my Instagram with all spoilers and things like that. I do want to remind everybody my sleeper pick was Strange Tales 158, which I kept telling everybody, and everybody was like, no, man, you're stupid. It's going to be Kang, blah, 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 blah. It's still in play, so I'm pretty excited. It kind of makes it a little fun for me to come and see this next show. But regardless, I mean, the show's been a success, so I'm pretty pumped. Also, I do want to say I have watched Black Widow.
Finally.
I loved it. I loved it. And if I worked for Rotten Tomatoes, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I'm just going to say that right now.
It's a fair grade, man. It's a great movie.
So, it could use more Iron Man in it. They could have used him. God. But, other than that, they only referenced him once. So I was just kind of like, that's kind of weird. But, hey, it is what it is. All right, Grail versus Grail. Let's bring in our special guest because if you don't know and you're not following him, he is another Canadian here, big brother to me on the West Coast. He lives in his name, if you know what I mean. It's Vancouver Comic Junkie. What's up, man?
Yeah! I live in my name?
Wild. That's wild.
Vancouver Comic Junkie.
That's some weird shit right there.
Yeah, true. Yeah. No, makes sense.
So, it is what it is. But yeah, guys, so I'm pretty pumped. There's a lot going on in comics. Again, Loki, New Comic Book Day, Black Widow, all this stuff. I want to say this too because I've said it every time we've had a show, and luckily, it's kind of been going on as we talk about it. But the NBA Finals are tonight.
Yep.
There's a game. Sometimes they have trailers in them, right? And it's only game 4, so we are guaranteed another 2 games, I think, if I did the math right. So just be paying attention to the NBA Finals.
What trailer do you think?
I think that they might do another Eternals. Eternals. That could be one of them.
Still pretty far away.
When's the movie come out again?
November.
That's not that far, though, guys. We're 2 weeks away from August.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, wait. Just Cruz is telling me that there is no game tonight, so I feel stupid now.
I would, too.
Yeah. No, I'm literally checking my TV guide. I'm like, wait, is there a fucking game?
All right, so I made a mistake, guys. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave now and enjoy the show.
Man, that was rough.
A way to start everybody off with this one.
Dude, I always keep thinking that it's it's every other day, but I forget that in the finals they got 2 days of rest. So, yeah. Anyway, let's
This
get the
is a
show
good way
going.
to start, though. You just crush everybody from go, and then we can only go up from there.
Well, yeah, that's it. All right, let's do a road call first, and then let's head off to the show. Man, I'm super excited because we haven't done this in like 5 weeks because of just different shows and different guests coming on and things like that. So I am looking forward to this. This is always kind of fun, especially when we have 4 people, because our opinions don't necessarily match. We don't always agree. Like I told BC and like I told Chris, every time they've come, I'm like, hey, you don't have to agree. If you want to say newbie, no, your opinion sucks. Hey, just say it. It's okay. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So.
Well, we did vote Tales of Suspense 39 off the show, so.
Yeah, that was bullshit. But hey, you never know. It could make its way back. Dan, looking forward to Chris, a.k.a. Drew, inside joke as Chris tonight.
Oh, he's been calling me Drew for like 3 weeks, and I've just kind of been rolling with it. And I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, but tonight I realized he just doesn't know my goddamn name. So it's all good. And it was funny because I've done that. Like I think I thought you were a different name for a while when I first met you too.
Dude, I did this to a guy at work. He was a painter at work, like not like art paints or anything like that, but like interior, exterior, whatever, and like maintenance and stuff. And like I thought his name was Kirk, but I found out that his name is Justin. But he just thinks I'm a cool guy, so he just keeps saying like, "Hey, what's up? Yeah, man," to me because I asked one of my coworkers. I'm like, we were talking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, why don't you ask Kirk to do that?" And they were like, "Who?" I was like, "Kirk, the painter," and they're like, "Yeah, his name is Justin." And I was like,
"Wow,
that's not even fucking close."
Wow. Okay, so
that's like stroke victim time.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. So hey,
is this the guy that bought you the X-Men shirt afterwards, or
no?
Right, that would be even better.
I feel bad, man. I feel bad, but no. Miguel, what's going on, man? Comic dude, a lot of Canadians in here. Joffrey, Renos, local guy. Casinos are opening up, brother. So hopefully, we're gonna see each other at work. Empire Comics, man. There's a lot of Canadians in here. Just Cruz. 123 New York, what's happening, brother? Marvel, Spider Comics, Hawaiian Punch is in the house. XYX3 versus X. Dude, I think XYX3 lost. We actually had it in the first round. So Canadians are too nice to do that face. Oh, you better set your alarm for 2:55 a.m. Not happening. I recommend stay off.
I'm putting all the spoilers in chat.
Spoilers, yeah. You know what? People have been pretty good though, so I mean, it is what it is, and yeah, Spider-Town, Christown. I'm late. Oof. No, really. You're not. Ultra, you're good. You're good.
Not really.
Sith, hey, what's up, man? He's gonna. Sith is actually gonna be joining us next week. So I'm pretty.
I gave him a heart attack today.
Yeah.
I messaged him. I was like, "Yo, what's going on? You're gonna be on tonight, bro?" He's like, "Wait, what?"
Newbie's favorite singer is Kirk Bieber.
Justin, I get it. I got it.
Oh God, it's terrible. It's Comic Ozzy's in the house. Yeah, so guys, if you guys, in the background watching on the rewind, I, appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, make sure you guys go check out Chris. Make sure you guys go check out BC, Face, Keys, Hyper, everybody in there. Before we get started, though, just because Hyper is in the chat, I just want to send him a big shout out because he actually.
This is
no.
I guess my parting words is: if you're too broke to buy comics, visit your local library.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I tried to
just get us.
No, it breaks me. Don't.
It's just one of those things, I don't know. Like, there's different times because there's sometimes where I watch that and I laugh at Face where he's like,
"What the?"
But then, like I said on Sunday, you could see my face just kind of go, like as I was processing it, I was like, what? So, yeah, it's all good. But hey, whatever, man. It's all fun. Good to see you. What's happening? Guy, 1/3 of the Pressable Defects. Brad, what's happening, man? So, yeah, so there's a lot of people. So, yeah, let's get started. Nowhere Bound. Chris, you were here, I believe, for one of the round robins, correct? Last time we did this?
Yeah, I think it was Dan.
Yeah.
Was that? No, I mean, I don't even remember. That was something else, wasn't it? I don't remember.
Yeah, no, Dan wasn't on. Yeah, no.
Anyway, it was fun. I remember it was fun. It's always fun here.
So, guys, just to give you guys a reminder in the chat, it is super hard. I mean, if you go back, we did 4 round robins, 10 rounds each, 20 books each round. Obviously, there's more books. I mean, there's a lot of Golden Age, there's a lot of Silver, there's a lot of books that we missed in the round robins. It's for fun, okay? So nobody be like, oh my God, this book's not on it. It's just for fun. We'll do this again.
And we had to save some, so we can do it.
Yeah, and you have to save some, right? So just keep that in mind. We try to put the books as close as possible, but obviously when you get to the semifinals, the final 40 books, it does get a little crazy. So again, this is all opinionated, whether it be for investment, what you like, preference, whatever the case may be. It's just to open the conversation up for some books, just in case someone, pulls over on the side of the road and says, hey, which one of these 2 books do you want? And then you have to pick. Maybe you can be like, oh, wait, Newbie and the guys told me, da-da-da. So just keep that in mind, but it is for fun, okay?
All right.
Let's keep that in mind. All right, with that said, guys, let's get it going. I'm ready. I'm excited. So let's get it going. So, yeah, I'm going to just try to put us in order of how we're going to talk. So, Chris, BC, and Face. And then I'll go last. Let's get it going, guys. Round
Works.
1. All right, so one of Face's favorite books, and it actually recently, I say recently, almost like a year ago now, sold for $28,000 in a 9.8, but it's going up against Transformers 1, which is super undervalued, I think.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, this is your first round.
Shit.
Okay, I guess I'm first.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say first of all, fuck you for putting these 2 books together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because they're both lovely books. But I will go for Transformers #1. I think Transformers #1 is culturally iconic. It's not just a comic book. It's cartoons. It's toys. It's everything. It's such a big thing, and I really do believe that they're gonna have their day again. I guess they've had their day many times, and they're gonna have another big day. Whereas Ninja Rabbit over there, who is awesome, and Stan Sakai is the greatest, and we all love him, I think he's as far as he's going to go. So,
on my end, I have to agree with everything you were just saying, Chris, but Transformers is also my childhood, man. So it goes that direction, man. Transformers, 100%.
Oh no, I'm Transformers #1. Like that's my pick. Yeah,
100%. Same here. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Ninja Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Yeah, fuck you for putting these 2 books together. I agree. And making me choose one of them over the other one.
It's hard as hell, guys.
I love both these books. Obviously, I'm a huge Transformers fan and a huge Ninja Turtles fan, and Usagi in general. Which is honestly he's entirely his own thing, but people know him from Ninja Turtles mostly. Shit, it's so tough to pick between these 2 books because I love them both so much. And I have the Transformers, so that's a plus. Assuming that I didn't, I would probably actually have to go with the Albedo #1 just because I never fucking see them. Like they're so hard to find. And Transformers I see for sale all the time, so I feel like I could get that at any point for the most part.
Yeah.
So wait, what was
I'm already losing on this one.
You kind of went both. You kind of tickled both there.
I mean, ultimately, I guess I'm taking Albedo because you can never find it. So.
Albedo #1 is interesting. I mean, it's always been one of those books that, it's niche, right? Like I think I've met like 2 people who were like, no, man, Usagi's like the guy, blah, 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 blah. Very popular when we talk about new comic book and stuff like that. But like Chris said, I think that Transformers is going to have its day. I think it's going to come back. I've talked about it. Chris has talked about it on 3 Men in the Basement. Ryan's talked about it at Automatic Commons. The G.I. Joe Transformer stuff coming, like, that's going to be huge. The nostalgia stuff, like, let's be real, vintage nostalgia, that stuff is in right now, right? You see it with how kids are dressing up. Like, I got a 12-year-old that lives on my street, and he's dressing like 1980s much music, right, with the neon colors and all that. So the
Much
nostalgia
music.
there, is there. When we've talked about certain things like dinosaurs and Cadillacs, Voltron, Transformers, all that stuff's coming back.
Yeah, man.
I think Transformers is going to have a huge, 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 huge following, even more
Is
so.
he a huge Usagi Yojimbo fan?
No, God, no.
Of course not. Yeah.
But yeah, for my purpose here, like it's just strictly preference. I would definitely want a Transformers, especially if I can get a 9.8. And like you said, Face, they're all over right now because not a lot of people are taking it serious. But once they come and once they hit, once they reboot it, whatever the case may be, maybe reboot is the wrong word, I think it's going to be even massive. I also think that there'll be money to be made. So I'm jumping on Transformers 100%.
Yeah. Dude, on my end though, like the kid in me says Transformers 100%.
Yeah.
I'm taking it, but I mean the flipper in me looking at those prices, 28,000, $2,000, I would go with the Albedo 100%, flip them, get a couple more of those Transformers.
Hey, Face, how big was this print run? It was like 2,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really small.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what the number was. Actually, Ultra might know that number right offhand, but yeah.
What was the release of that book, Face? What year did that book come out at?
86?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. 86, 85.
Yeah.
I know what BC's saying though. Like when you see those numbers, I mean, a 9.8 sold for 28. That was last September. So let's say right now with the crazy market, let's say a 9.8 is worth 30,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a Tesla, right?
That's a leap. That's a fucking leap.
A used Tesla, but nevertheless, you're driving a Tesla. So it is what it is. All right. Transformers 1 takes the first round.
Wow.
Round 2, guys. Let's keep it DC. Let's keep it crazy. We got the first appearance of Riddler. First appearance, not Silver Age. First actual appearance of Riddler. And first appearance of Batgirl.
Oh, I guess I'm going. I gotta pick Detective 359. I think Riddler's awesome. I mean, financially, I'd be a fool to pick this one, but I think culturally, I think Batgirl just has more legs. I just think there's more impact with it long term. Riddler has always been, and I'm gonna say it, a very boring character. He's never been interesting as far as like rogues go. It really kind of sucks actually. And yeah, I'm gonna go with Batgirl. And honestly, it's I think 90% of it is because I'm working on Batwoman at the next season. So it's yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Oh man, it's tough. It's tough because these are two big characters. Obviously, financially, one's bringing in way more coin. The cover pops to me more on the first Batgirl for sure, but I think I'm going first Riddler. That's the route I would go. 100%. He's a key villain, man.
Face, before you go, big shout outs to Ray De La Torre. Thank you so much for that super chat, man. Appreciate it. I never bug anybody for super chats when they come. Much appreciated. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So 1 vote Riddler, 1 vote Batgirl. Face, what are you saying, man?
Oh man, this is another one that's kind of tough because like Chris said, Batgirl's probably more relevant in the long run as far as like what she might do on TV or the movies or anything like that. But man, that Riddler, yeah, that's a big boy book right there, and there's a lot of value in it. And the only thing with the Riddler is I'm kind of scared of the new movie because it looks like it could be cool, especially the different take on him. But oh man, it could go very bad too. So I don't know, but I think ultimately, yeah, I'm gonna have to settle on the Riddler just based on those price tags alone.
Ouch.
Oh, dude. Oh man, that makes it tough for me.
All about them Benjamins, aren't you, Face?
I mean, on this one, yeah, I gotta be.
Yeah, I get it.
I get what Chris is saying. Batwoman, Batgirl. She's got more of possibly a future. When you talk about like villains and heroes again, this is probably something that we're gonna probably talk about. Riddler, I'm with Chris, man. I've always thought, the dude was wearing green Lululemon pants before Lululemon was a thing, and basically, was putting question marks on him. I get it. He's decent, right? There's 2 adaptations I have. Like on one end, I have Jim Carrey's. Shout out Jim Carrey, Canadian. His adaptation of the character, and then I have the adaptation of the '90s Batman with like the top hat, and the suit and stuff like that. So there's different ways, but like the way they're going about it with the new movie, I don't know if it's going to be a success. I don't know if it's going to be a hit. It's going to be interesting to see. Who knows? But I'm taking the money here. I'm taking Riddler for the money. Even though he is corny, even though he's goofy, I know that there's probably a better future. Like if somebody were to hand me a 9/8 of Batgirl, I know I'm going to probably double my money in 5 years' time. But just how not iconic, but like the yellow, the golden, the first appearance, it's just all that. And especially if somebody gives it to me today, I can sell it for $450 tomorrow. That's a few Teslas. That's like my whole family driving Teslas. So,
something else with Batgirl. I almost wonder if, because there was a project here that was announced a while back that they were doing for Batgirl, and then it kind of quietly got dropped off the radar. I mean, it makes me wonder if they're going to stick with Batwoman more as the kind of go-to female Batman, just because I wonder if DC or Warner Brothers maybe kind of finds Batgirl problematic in the fact that obviously the natural tendency would be to use Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, but it almost feels like nobody wants her as Batgirl anymore. Like she's fucking Oracle now. That's it. And people got pissed when they made her Batgirl again. So, I wonder if that kind of plays into their decision to lean more.
I don't think they know, man. I really don't think DC knows.
Yeah, right. It wouldn't surprise me if they have no idea at this point.
But I will say this about Batgirl is that I think there's more opportunity for that to be a culturally iconic comic or character as opposed to Riddler, who we'll see in this new Batman movie, which I think looks excellent. But saying that, it will only be a one-off villain, and he'll disappear, and then we'll have to wait like 15 years for him to show up again. He's just not really all that relevant. The only reason, like, these 2 books are really hard to put together because one's like a golden age rogue character next to a silver age, secondary key. So it's incredible it even goes for that much money in a 9/8, the 359. So fuck all of you guys, you bunch of whores for money. That's all I'm saying.
DC has no clue who they want to age up out of a character like Batgirl and John Kent. Yeah.
Seriously.
It's going to be very interesting what DC does. Like I've said multiple times, I think that, Black Adam is going to probably be their saving grace. I think that that's going to be the character that kind of puts them back on the map, kind of gives them some respect. I can totally see, like Chris said, though, I've also said that Riddler is a one-off. I think the way they should have done Riddler, and Face, you've heard me say this on when we do our Sunday show, but if they were to do a joke, like, how they did the Joker movie, if they were to do a Riddler movie like that, like very dark origin, nothing to do with anything, I think they'd have something there. I think they could build from there, and it would be kind of successful. Same with Mr. Freeze. Like, I feel like DC has the perfect characters to kind of go dark on, Mr. Freeze, Riddler, Poison, like all those characters. Like, if they were to do it like that, and it's a shame because they had a success with Joker, and they're not.
Would it be cool if every year they did that? Like every year they did a movie like Joker. They just did like let's drop 50 million on, and the 50 million's nothing, by the way, to them. Let's drop 50 million on a medium to low budget villain movie and see what this crazy filmmaker over here does with it. And I think it'd be fucking awesome. So anyway,
but guys, I could never take Mr. Freeze serious just because of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, sincerely.
Chill out.
No, it wouldn't be him, man. It wouldn't be him.
Man, if they did like a live action,
sorry,
if they did like a live action Heart of Ice or that shit would sell for sure.
I'm trying to think of who I would get to play him, but I don't know. Let's see. All right, well, hey, Riddler takes it. We're all taking the Benjamins, and I saw a comment saying that I like Tesla. There's just a lot of Teslas where I live, so I kind of get jealous.
They're awesome.
Yeah. So but if Tesla is watching, if Elon's watching, and you want a comic sponsor, I'm here for you.
Yeah, he's been looking for one. I
love
mean,
you.
it was on Instagram the other day.
Go Tesla. So yeah.
Someone
All right,
named
Rich-
Just Cruz said 50 million is Marvel's marketing budget. I think it's their marketing budget
Right.
on one episode of TV. Their
Crazy.
marketing budget's in the billions a year. It's huge. So
Hey, I just want a very quick, not to get sidetracked. I was reading, I think it was on comicbook.com or somebody, but there's a theory about Loki, how every episode actually represents each time stone. Have you guys, or the Infinity Stones? Have you heard that?
no,
I heard about it.
Oh, yeah, I did. I think I did see an article about that somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty
I
interesting.
didn't
Like
read it.
they were talking about how like in the background of each episode, it's like one predominantly like color or something like that, and like they reference one of the stones and everything, or they talk about like space or reality or this or that. So like I was kind of reading, I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting, but I'll see. Anyway, all right.
Sounds
So
like the Miss Cleo shit.
Yeah, Riddler's taking round 3 or round 2. I think round 3 is a little easier in the sense, well, not easier.
it better be.
Oh, and this
Well,
is
that's Jesus. This is the easiest one ever.
Yeah, that's
Dude, the fact that
Spider-Man, obviously.
the fact that both of these books made it is just ridiculous in a semifinal, and we've got books like Tales of Suspense 39 that didn't even make it. So it's just, but we got Nova 1, Richard Rider versus Carnage. Yeah,
I got to tell you right now, it's not even a question. Carnage, after the movie, no one's going to give two shits about that character. He might go into some Sinister Six movie or something down the road, but really, he's a very secondary character next to a Venom or many other characters. Sorry, but Dick Ryder has the potential to be the Peter Parker of space,
yes.
the cosmic Peter Parker. There's so much you can do with this character. And I don't know about you guys, but the number one thing I'm looking forward to is more cosmic Marvel. It's like they could set up a whole new universe that way, and we've only seen hints of it. Loki's doing a little hinting here and there, but like Guardians did some really beautiful stuff. Eternals is coming, and this is going to be the next stage. And this takes us into like Warlock and all this stuff. Man, so exciting. So yeah, I'm obviously going with 361. No, I'm just kidding. Nova number 1.
I was gonna say, I'm like, wait, what?
No, Nova number 1 for sure. And anyone else who says different's an idiot. Go.
So
No
now that
pressure. No pressure, guys. No pressure.
I'm not even gonna answer. You know my answer. I don't want a beating, man. So, but yo, everything you just said again to the point, and you know they've already referenced Nova Corps and everything in the MCU. So if we're gonna go based off of that, you know what I mean? Thanos already destroyed Xandar, right? You know what I mean? So, I also own 361. So, I'm gonna be biased here. I'm still hunting that 9/8 of a Nova. You know what I mean? So, I'm going Nova, and for everything Chris said as well. Like, there's so much potential with this book right here. So, that's my pick.
well, I don't fuck. Thankfully, I don't have to pick. I got them both. So, but if I had to choose, shit, man, like obviously, yeah, you guys know I'm a huge Carnage fan, and Newbie set these up just to torture me. I'm pretty sure at this point.
I knew you were gonna say that, man. I knew you were gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, I set you up." And that's why I told you before. I'm like, I didn't set you up, but
Yeah. So I love Carnage, but I kind of agree with Chris. I mean, there might be a little more life left in Carnage after this. If they do like a maximum Carnage type thing or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't really foresee him carrying a franchise, whereas Nova can. I mean, he can easily be, you know, a trilogy or more, or even someone like, you know, Thor, Captain America, who plays a role in a lot of different movies. Even they do have another option in Sam Alexander, but I think that they're either gonna introduce Dick Ryder or both. I don't think it's just gonna be Sam Alexander if they go that route.
Feige already came out and said that.
Yeah, I would think more than likely it'll be both because they can lean on the Nova Corps aspect and everything like that first. So I do think we will potentially get both Novas at some point. But yeah, given the choice, yeah, I got to take Nova. I mean, like I said, you can center a franchise around him. And Carnage, I mean, other than like the Maximum Carnage series or maybe a few storylines, there's not really a lot to center him on. So,
so I don't know if you guys are aware or familiar with it. Maybe some of the Canadians are, but Mr. Sandy, Mr. Comic Knight, he used to do or still does Tuesday shows. He's got a chain mail. He's been on my show twice. You know, friend of the channel, friend in general. He once said, "Newbie, buy Nova 1. If I had the money, buy Nova 1." And this was like 2 years ago. And I said, why? Why do you think that? He goes, he's got the potential to be what Iron Man was for a franchise.
100%.
And then, you know, and Chris just referenced, you know, saying he could be the Spider-Man Space. Space is just, you know, we've just scratched the surface realistically. I think there's so much more upside to Nova 1. I think, like, if we're going right now with no movie buzz, no casting, no leaked photos, no nothing, I mean, a 9.8 is going for $2,400. Just imagine what that's going to do when the character shows up, because he's not going to be a one-off. I've sold my ASM 361, and I showed you guys what I got. I got great books, money, you know, it's great. But I'm with Chris. This is a one-off. I've been saying it for so long. Carnage is one-off. There's so many copies that you'll be able to find way more down the road anyway.
Yep.
And even if it's not a one-off and like at the end of that Venom movie, you know, Carnage is like, I'll be back. Okay, dude, it's one of those things though that like in our face, right? Like the things that sell is like if it's in our face. If it's in our face, nobody's looking at what's not in our face. So once the Venom thing is over, Venom, Carnage, Symbiote, all that stuff is going to go like secondary to what's in front of us, and then you'll be able to buy it on the dip, even if you're wrong, right? So just keep that in mind. But Nova is the winner here.
It's not like Carnage sucks. Carnage is awesome. No, I think we all agree. Carnage is a great character, but like when you put a, you know, he's not Venom, but like he's kind of a secondary Venom. He really is. But you know, he's awesome. But you just can't put that up against a potential giant character. You know, at the end of the day. So hey, Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan will be on the show in 2 weeks' time. Two weeks, I think. He's going to be back for 2 vests. We actually combined our lists and some things. So he's going to be on the show, and we're going to be talking about that because Ryan likes to talk comics, keys, and numbers. So, yeah. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Yeah. So clean sweep, Nova 1. And, yeah, I really do think that, you know, it's going to be one of those things that, like Dark Hawk, right? Like people laughed at that book for so long, and then the littlest thing went, and then everybody went crazy for it.
Why?
I know a lot of people are regretting not picking up Nova 1. I know tons of people that are regretting not getting 9.6, 9.8 like a year ago for like $300 Canadian. So many, including myself. So
it's still got a long way to go. So you can still buy it
for $2,400 though. I mean,
but you don't need 9.8.
Yeah,
buy a 9.0.
No, I'm being honest, man. I might take that leap very soon, dude. It's a book that I've wanted for a long time. I'm a Nova fan. I really enjoy the story. I think he's a huge character. I need the book. I think I'm gonna do it, man.
I think, and I don't want to come out and just say this because I'm not 100% sure. You guys know I try to go with this, you know, the stats, the information. But I think Nova 1 is actually more expensive than Adam Warlock books, like Marvel Premiere 1, Thor 165, and Fantastic 467. I think that's Nova 1.
They're not.
No?
No, a 9.8 Thor 165 is like $70,000. Or no, sorry, like $30,000. So, you know, just because they're golden age or silver age dark covers and stuff. So,
but you're talking first appearance of him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we just get direct Warlock in the MCU, do you think that drops?
Drops?
Yeah, no. I think Warlock has a huge future, man.
I'm more into Warlock than Nova. Even I think Warlock could be the greatest thing that ever happened to him.
What I'm saying is, there's the first appearance of him, and then there's the first like Adam Warlock, right?
Oh, I'm gonna say this about that. Okay, so I'm a big, as Newbie knows, I'm a huge Warlock guy and bought into all the there's 3 keys. Like there's 4, but 3 that I would pick. FF67, Thor 165, and Marvel Premiere 1. I actually think the most undervalued book going right now is Marvel Premiere #1 because he really is 100%. Warlock. He's Warlock on the cover, you know, and it's like it's kind of his first appearance. The rest is all just origin to get there. And but the market says Thor 165, I think, is the more popular book to get. But I love that book, man. I Marvel Premiere 1. I'm still buying them right now.
When you said 4, you weren't suggesting FF66, were you?
Nope, fuck that book. No,
okay.
No. Dude, no, I was actually I always throw in Strange Tales 178. It's kind of an introduction of his doppelganger. So
okay. Because I was gonna say, I'm like, when people start talking about it and they bring up FF66, I'm like, dang, fuck out of here. Like,
so Chris, would you invest in the origin of Adam Warlock, which I think was New Mutants?
No, it's of what? Of Warlock?
Yeah.
It's Thor 165 and FF67. Okay. If I was a betting man right now, I think it's a smarter deal to put money into Marvel Premiere #1 right now because the prices are a little lower. Yeah. And I think people are going to turn their heads towards that book in a big way once we start seeing Warlock in the MCU, and we will. But saying that, don't discount those other 2 books. It's a weird thing. It's like a trilogy of like first issues, basically. So,
yeah,
it's a tough one.
Can't go wrong with it. Just remember, folks. Thor 165 lost in the first round, 3-1. So.
Wow. I wish I was there to support it.
Do you remember which book?
Ooh, I would have to go back and take a look. I think it was
probably some piece of shit like an ASM 300. Just kidding.
Round 4, guys. Now this one is not as crazy. Like this one is not as easy as you think. It's not as easy as you think because if you follow Submariner and you follow his first appearance, you know that this one's got some special treatment going to it, and the further we go, the more we see of him, this book is going to climb. But we've got the OG Iron Man 55, first Thanos and Drax and the brothers, Blood Brothers, going up against the first solo series for Submariner. I say solo because Iron Man Submariner is technically came out first, but obviously people jumped to Iron Man 1 and Submariner 1. So but yeah,
I guess me. So this is a tough one. I think both of them are incredible books. I really do. I lean towards Submariner #1, but I look at Thanos as almost like a Joker type character, whereas he's iconic. Like he's died in the movies, but he was such a big deal that he will live on forever. And very strong chance in 15, 20 years, they may just reboot him. And why not? Because he's fucking great. So culturally, I think he is not going away long term. But if I was to pick a book, I'm a huge fan of Submariner #1. I've been touting that book for a while because it has been cheap until recently. But I think Swaggle is not going to like this. I'm going to pick the Submariner #1, even though I love the Iron Man 55. I really do love. I don't own the Iron Man 55. That's my problem. So, and I'm looking for one right now. If anyone has one at a 7.5, just saying, hit me on IG. So
7.5.
Yeah, that's my grade.
My address is.
Anyway, I'm picking Submariner #1. Sorry, Swaggle Haas.
Submariner, definitely has so much room to grow with everything, but I don't know, man. Like, I'm looking at these books and I'm like, so if I'm gonna think investment wise, definitely go, Submariner and whatnot. But for my PC, and guys, I cannot stress it enough, I'm a huge Thanos fan. I've got literally the gauntlet here. But it's literally, for me, it's Iron Man 55. That's a book I would want in my PC at 100%. Yeah,
with Thanos, I mean, he can keep coming back over and over and constantly does in the comics. So even though he's not really a hero that they're gonna center a franchise around, he's the type of character that you just know they're gonna bring him back and use him again at some point. Plus, in no fucking world am I picking Submariner over Thanos. So, just personal preference. I got to take Thanos.
Yo,
The prices are close enough that I don't have to worry about it too much. So,
bro, you thought I was lying, eh? You thought I was lying, eh?
Like Submariner probably has a better long-term potential, though, to be honest, because you know, like kind of like Nova, you can sort of, you know, center a franchise around him or whatever. But yeah. Just personal preference, I gotta lean with Thanos, but the smart money would probably be on Submariner. So
yeah.
All right, so this one is a little tough because like as Chris knows, as Face knows, you know, we've had conversations about Fantastic Four #4. If you've been following me from the start on YouTube, you know that one of the biggest regrets I have is not buying Fantastic Four #4. It's always a tongue twister. For about $600 for I think it was at the time. This was back in 2013 when this character was like literally nothing. No, everybody laughed at you if you said it was going. I remember people saying to me, "You honestly think that they're gonna have some jack dude in a Speedo running around with a trident?" That's what people were saying. I just believed it. I loved it. Whatever. And Chris is right. You know, in face, Submariner 1 has been super cheap. I mean, if you even go back to say like September, October, 5.5, you could get it for $250 Canadian, shipped, imported, everything like that. Now it's a little higher. You're looking in 5.5. You're kind of looking at almost that $1,000 range. The one thing I will say, and this has nothing to do with it being in an Iron Man run at all. This has zero to do with it.
Yeah.
Exactly what all three of these guys said. How iconic Thanos has become. And Chris, you hit it on the nail when you said like Joker. I'm for all the DC people here, I'm not saying Thanos and Joker. I'm not saying they're the same. But I'm saying,
but iconic wise, you mean?
Yeah, like there's people there, you know, yeah, culturally, you see it on T-shirts. It's one of those things that, you know, like one of my mom's friends one time was like to her son, "You better clean it or I'll snap." You know, like just everybody knows about Thanos and all that stuff. It's culturally an iconic character, and I think down the road is going to get more respect. Like Face said, you know, and like in the comics, he comes up all the time. There's already rumors that he's going to be coming back with all this multiverse and things like that. So I don't know. For me, I'm taking that Iron Man 55 without a doubt. I just think Thanos he's iconic and, you know, culturally. So for me, I'm taking that book. Plus, it looks better. I don't want to have some dude in a Speedo on my wall. So nothing against dudes that wear Speedos all day. Just not my thing.
But I'm going to throw one more thing at Submariner here. He's one of the first superheroes ever. Like he's in Marvel Comics #1. You got to think about that. I mean, he's been around forever. And also Marvel's so good at, like, they've watched Aquaman, and I don't care what anyone says. That Aquaman movie, it ain't great. I mean, Jason Momoa is great, but that movie ain't great. They're about to I think they're gonna redefine what this kind of character can be. So I'm quite excited about it at the end of the day. But it still kills me. Like, I think the Thanos book, I don't know. I can't. I'm starting to lean on the Thanos book now. No, okay. Submariner one. Never mind.
Well, hey, it's 3-1. Iron Man takes it. Finally, we might have an Iron Man book in the finals. So this is exciting. This is exciting. I also want to say I'm pretty confident that they're not going to introduce this character as someone just running around in a Speedo. I think that they're, you know, obviously they know that kids go and watch these movies. You know, Disney owns them. You know, things like that. So I don't think that they're going to have just some random dude, you know, going in a Speedo. I think it's going to be
Aztec Warrior,
Aquaman,
right?
And you know what's interesting is, and nobody talks about this. Usually, Marvel is the first one to do certain things, right? So the martial arts, you know, the superhero, you know, things like that. It's interesting that they allowed, and not that they allowed. It's just like they're doing it later on, as, you know, as we're getting to it. But they were able to see what DC's adaptation of like an underwater character was.
Yeah.
You can bet that they did one of those pros and cons, and they're just going to correct everything that was done. They also get the satisfaction, you know, Aquaman 2 is going to be done before we even get Submariner in his own stuff. So, like, again, they're going to have the benefit of, you know, correcting all that stuff that, you know, didn't work. So that's always interesting too, right?
True.
All right, Iron Man takes it 3-1, and I guess Swaggle and Chris are no longer friends. I don't know.
Sorry, Swaggle.
Round number 5. And we couldn't get to the final without talking villains or ASM, but we got ASM 50, Mr. Kingpin versus Doc Ock, ASM 3.
Damn, man.
This is
What the
bullshit.
fuck you doing to me here?
No, this is
right?
tough.
This is a tough one. I mean, I own one of these books, but I don't own. Well, I own the 3, but I don't own the issue 50. I
Yeah.
think issue 50 is one of the top 3 Silver Age books, like covers ever. It's incredible in every way. I just adore it. Even the splash page is amazing too.
Right? A lot of homage to this one too.
And it should be, because it's so iconic and just beautiful. And I don't know if you've ever seen like a 9.4 or 9.6 of this book in person, but it just glows in the dark. It's beautiful. But of course, you've got the other book, Doc Ock, super iconic, rogue character for Spider-Man. Incredible. Versus the first appearance of Kingpin. It's man, this is tough. I just think long term, I think Doc Ock is. Do you know what, man? Kingpin. I'm going 50.
I feel like that was
okay. I'm gonna go Kingpin. There's more future in Kingpin. I really think that.
I was sensing that you were trying to go like Doc Ock the whole time, but while you were talking, your brain was like, "Nah, man, 50."
Yeah, totally. I was figuring it out. You guys were watching my brain work. It doesn't work well though. So anyway, I'm gonna go with 50.
Oh man, like honestly, I feel like I gotta pick between like life and death here.
This is tough.
It is. It really is. Because seriously, I do agree. Kingpin's got a ton of future, but like, yeah, he's OG for sure. But it's Doc Ock. You know what I mean? It's the first appearance of Doc Ock. And this is what, ASM like issue 3 or something.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sweating, dude. I'm literally sweating. This is big. But Doc Ock is also part of the Sinister Six.
Yeah, but who gets the Sinister Six together?
Yeah, no, I know. I think I'm gonna have to, and I'm not doing this to go up against the grain and try to even out the playing field here, but I would go Doc Ock. And you know why? Because there was a time where Doc Ock actually beat Peter Parker, dude. He became Peter Parker, and that was a great fucking story. So if you haven't read that, do read it. I'm going with that one, Doc Ock.
Yeah, this is another tough decision. It's one of the cool things about it is that it's 2 villains, but it's 2 pretty different villains in that, like whenever we have this discussion about villains, and everything like that, and their value in the long run and everything, versus heroes, you don't get to really do a comparison about different types of villains, and you actually get it with this, because you got Doc Ock, who's kind of like, he's sort of one of those villains where like he's going to come into a movie or whatever, and he's going to make his appearance, and then ultimately in the end he's probably going to get beat or whatever, and then he's going to be gone for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Kingpin actually has like longevity. Even when he loses, like he ultimately doesn't really lose in a position that puts him away or anything like that.
And he just goes in the
sort of
shadows,
like his
right?
plans just get fooled, and he's still fucking there. You can't get rid of him. And even in Daredevil, like the Netflix series, they kind of really emphasize that, because they even did put him in prison, and he was still a fucking presence. And I think that added visibility kind of gives Kingpin an edge as far as like the live action stuff goes. So, and it does just have the more iconic cover. There's probably more value in the ASM4 right now for sure, given that it's Doc Ock, very early Spider-Man and everything like that. But yeah, I think just for personal choice, I would go with the ASM 50.
Man, it's tough going last, like saying my opinion after hearing all of you guys, because I'm like, I'm so excited. First, I want to say, Bloop. Alfred Molina is confirmed to be Doc Ock. Is coming back. If you haven't heard, Kevin Feige is super pissed at him because he keeps talking about the movie and leaking some stuff. So maybe go read up on that. There was an article I read, and I haven't posted it. I got to go back and find it, actually, and I'm stupid because I didn't screenshot it. Somebody did, and if you have some spare time, maybe you can do it at home. But somebody took the 1990s Amazing Spider-Man show and actually did how long screen time certain characters were on, right? For the whole show, like every episode. The two characters that were on there the most, Hobgoblin, in no order, Hobgoblin and Kingpin. Kingpin, if you go back, he's basically in almost every episode. He's got his hands in everything. Daredevil, Smythe, the robotics, the selling. He runs the city. He's got that mob mentality. He fights Spider-Man how many times? Punisher, Hobgoblin, Norman Osborn, this, that. He's got it all. I get ASM 3 is iconic. It's the third issue. It's Doc Ock. Doc Ock is iconic. But I'm talking about the better cover. I'm talking about the better future. I'm talking about somebody who's got his hand in more things. I'm going ASM 50 100%. I would just take that one all day, and I get it because, I know how hard it is to get early Spider-Man. I know that people out there, like Chris knows a few, and, Ryan, I've talked to a few people who, there are some people who do collect or trying to collect all that early Spider-Man, and it's super hard.
Yep.
And I get it, but 50, it's just super iconic. Like, super iconic. Future-wise, it's going to shoot the moon. Like, I want to see this book in 3 years. A 9.2 is probably going to be, like, maybe 20, maybe in the 18, 20 range, somewhere around there. So it's just got a better future. And it's tough, though, because I love that old school, like, the word bubbles. I love that stuff on covers. Like, I absolutely love it. I like that vintage look to them and stuff like that. So it is tough, but again, you can't go wrong. It's just opinion. So,
and 50 is still pretty early ASM. So
it is. It really is.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question for you, but really quickly, just a yay or nay.
Yeah.
And Chris, I've done this with you. Would you take, and let's go to issue 52. Would you take Fantastic Four or Spider-Man issue 1 through 52?
Fantastic Four.
Oh, fuck.
It's tough, though.
I'm taking Fantastic Four, too, as well.
Yeah.
Okay, repeat the question so I can just embrace this.
Would you, if somebody were to give you issues 1 through 52 in ASM or Fantastic Four, what are you taking?
Oof.
Yo, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but...
Oh, my God.
Fantastic Four, dude. Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
Wow.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Fantastic Four, you get Black Panther, the Inhumans.
But that's it.
Galactus, those are franchises in themselves.
But all those Kirby covers too.
Yeah.
But you see,
Spider-Man, you get some awesome Spidey villains, but they are ultimately Spidey villains for the most part. So,
but for me, the reason why it's difficult is because it's like it's Spidey. You know what I mean? Spidey's my guy, and so to turn that down for Fantastic Four.
I'd say this though: if Sony didn't own Spider-Man, if Sony didn't own Spider-Man and Spider-Man had been in the MCU, like truly run by Feige for the last 10 years, I think we'd all have different opinions on this. Yeah. Because I think Sony has really, even though I love Spider-Man too, but I think it could be like possibly the biggest superhero ever because of that. But unfortunately,
you're probably right because they would have leaned a lot heavier into Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely,
for sure too. So
yeah.
It's always interesting throwing that question out because like I'm reading the chat and like some people are like, "Are you serious?" or like, "No," and like they're so certain it's one. But again, that's what makes the hobby interesting and great. It's the conversations and things like that. You could talk about this all freaking day, man. So, all right, Kingpin moves on to the finale. He might take on Tales of Suspense 39. You never know, but we'll see.
Thought we already voted that out.
This one I think this one was tough to make. This one was a weak one for me. I think you guys know where I'm going with this one. But we got the first appearance of the Golden Age Flash in the Silver Age, which was always confusing to me. But if you're a Flash fan, if you're a DC fan, this is an iconic book to have. Going up against Hank Pym, Tales to Astonish, number 27.
I've just never been a Flash guy. so it's an easy answer for me, and it's just weighted on one side. I'm just not a Flash guy, so I would go with first Hank Pym. But I don't know. I mean, Jay Garrick really isn't all that relevant now, is he?
No.
Nope.
He really kind of isn't, is he?
I'm not a Flash guy, man. I own zero Flash books.
Yeah, no, I have a few, and I'm picking the Tales to Astonish more just because I know more about it. So,
no, it's the same thing for me. I own a couple Flash books. I'm going 100% with Hank Pym. One, it's a character I enjoy. He was actually a piece of shit in comics. I'm sure everyone's aware of that.
It absolutely was, especially in the Ultimates.
I remember reading back on these, and I was like, damn, man, this guy's an ass. But 100%, man. Hank Pym. It's Hank Pym, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree. It's pretty easy in that, like, you're getting an actual first appearance with Hank Pym on that one. Whereas, it's just Jay Garrick's first appearance in the Silver Age. It is a cool cover. And it was a cool storyline. But like Chris said, Jay Garrick, he's not hugely relevant, and Hank Pym probably is going to be more relevant. They have decreased his relevancy, given that they've kind of shifted Ant-Man over to Scott Lang at this point. But Hank Pym, it's still that first appearance. So I'm going to go with Tales to Astonish.
I find Hank has zero. Like, I feel like a lot of people, forget he is the original Ant-Man, right? I mean, the same argument could be made, like, when you talk to kids about, like, Spider-Man, right? They say Miles, and, like, who's Ant-Man? Like, a lot of people don't realize that Hank was Ant-Man. They just think that he was just, from the movies, and even though he says that he was the Ant-Man, all that.
Yep.
But, I feel like he's get zero respect. I came across Tales to Astonish, and if you followed me from the start, I think my second video I ever did on YouTube, I did like a top 5 list of what I wanted. This one was at number 5, surprisingly, because a lot of people don't realize that I actually like Ant-Man. I think he's got a cool power. I always just thought it was kind of cool, that guy that never, needed like from the movies and stuff, like, just needed a break, and then he comes up with the suit and changes and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to get soft on you guys, but I just thought it was a cool thing. If it happened to me, I thought it would be kind of cool. Tales to Astonish, I came across a cover, but the whole Tales to Astonish was penned, like blue.
I hate that, man.
I was like, oh man, and the guy's like, dude, I can give you a good deal. And this was about like 2 years ago, I think, and I believe it was still at, I think he still wanted like $1,100, somewhere around there for it. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to give you $1,100. Like, no disrespect to him, but just like, I'm not going to have $1,100 invested in the book that has like pen all over it and shit like that. So yeah. But this one is to me, it's one that I've always wanted in my, in my collection. So yeah, for sure. For me, it's Tales to Astonish. I think that's a clean sweep. And like I said, I got 0 Flash books. And I'm not trying to break anyone's heart. I could care less about Flash. 0 interest in it. I'll go watch the Flash movie, but I have 0 interest in it. I have 0, I don't care about it. So.
No, question for you. Just a quick one, though. For, let's say, Ant-Man MCU, were you happy we got Scott Lang right away, or did you wish they touched more on Hank Pym?
I wish they would have touched more on Hank Pym, but I totally understand. Like, if you look back on like how the movies came out and what's happened, what's transpired, I totally get how they could do it. But that's not to say that they don't go back and kind of touch on it.
Would it be cool a Disney Plus show that took place in the 70s?
Yeah, man, I would love that.
That'd be fun, right?
Go pitch that now.
Yeah, exactly.
But keep this in mind too, right? With all this multiverse stuff and things like that, who's to say that they don't do like these like prequel shows to like kind of connect it, or they do all these flashbacks, right? So you could get a movie like that. Like I said, when you start talking to people about Ant-Man 3, right? Everybody's like, Kang. Oh my God, Kang showing up. Yeah, Kang. All right, so again,
Mephisto.
Do you think Kang is going to lose to Ant-Man? Like I always say, I'm like, there's going to be more to it than just Kang, right? I truly believe that. So like, it's going to be more street level. It could go back to, talk things. If Yellow Jacket's coming back, I could totally see again Hank Pym being in that role because he's going to have that history, right? So there's just a lot of things that they could do with it, but yeah. Before we continue to round 7, I told you guys, Comic Night, Mr. Sandy. I just want to say, hey, dude, congratulations. He just had his second child. He posted about it. So, yeah, he's going to be taking a break from YouTube, but that's okay. He's still going to be doing his chain mail and things like that. But congratulations, brother.
Huge congratulations.
Yo, that's going to be me in October, so let me know how this goes.
It's the best thing ever, guys. Having kids is the best thing ever.
Oh, yeah, it is, dude.
Really.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, big shout outs to him. So, if you don't see him on YouTube as much, he did post on his Instagram that he wasn't going to be around as much. Rightfully so. Like I always say, life over comics. Obviously, he's got a family to provide for, and a little. I think it's another girl, so it is what it is. But congratulations, nevertheless, brother.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's stop talking about Flash here. Let's get into round number 7.
Oh.
We got
Jesus.
Fantastic Four number 45, Inhumans, which a lot of people say is terrible. Going up against Rey Mysterio, aka Mr. Mysterio. No, I'm just kidding. I always say that. But you got ASM 13, first appearance of Mysterio. I think this is a tough one.
Yep. You killing me tonight.
It's a super tough one. I don't know. I'm that fool that bought an IMAX ticket for the ABC TV show at the IMAX show, and I almost left halfway through it. But saying that, I've always loved the Inhumans. Even when I was a kid, I was a big fan. I love the characters. I think there's so much there. Black Bolt is like the coolest looking character ever. I think there's so much potential there if they were to reboot them and where it is they are. And Mysterio's great. He's great. I mean, if I was to pick FF45, it would be because they're a team and there's more of a world there and there's more to build off of than one rogue character from ASM. That would be my only reason to pick that. But you also look at Mysterio. He's a very iconic Spider-Man villain, an incredibly iconic book that's worth a small fortune too in high grade. But I'm going to pick FF45.
Yeah. I agree with all of those points. It's tough for me because, again, you guys know ASM. That's me, 100%. But it's like Inhumans. It depends. Like I feel like every round we're basing our votes on the price or on a preference or on the PC and this and that. So for this one, I'm gonna stay focused.
Yeah.
Really.
Go with your gut, man.
Do you, man? Do you?
So me doing me, fuck. I'm gonna surprise you guys. I'm gonna go with Fantastic Four, 100%.
Whoa, yeah, you surprised me. You're going the other way.
Yep. That's the swerve. But it's simply because, dude, sincerely, I do think the Inhumans didn't get their proper day in the MCU, 100%. That was a stinker and a half. I would say way more worse things, but I'd rather not. But Fantastic Four, everything Chris said is 100%. There's still room for that to grow, man.
Oh, and by the way, isn't Inhumans supposed to be in Miss Marvel? I've been hearing that they're introducing.
I read something like that, but it was in one of those that doesn't have the best source. So I was just like,
that could be the case too.
Yeah. Well, like Mysterio's, a cool Spider-Man villain, and again, this is really early ASM. And he has, he's an illusionist and everything like that. So obviously there are routes that they could take to bring him back in live action and everything like that. They're probably not going to, unless maybe they use him in the Sinister Six or something like that. But yeah, Fantastic Four, you get the Inhumans, and let's be honest, that show fucking sucked. It was garbage.
Complete ass.
It was a fucking dumpster fire from go.
Yo, they got to use the
like Chris. Yeah, like Chris said, they're bringing back Inhumans probably at least to start with for Miss Marvel. I mean, she is an Inhuman. So, and they've kind of already like they're not. Marvel's not going to take the leap and individually retcon every TV show that they've already done and everything like that. Like they're not going to have some throwaway line or anything like that probably in every series that kind of acts as it. Like I don't imagine they're going to come out and say, yeah, Inhumans, the TV series, isn't part of the MCU anymore. But that's kind of the feeling that you have with it. Like they're that TV series just really doesn't fucking count. Nobody cares about it, and they're just gonna forget about it and sort of reboot the Inhumans under, the MCU and Kevin Feige. So I think we're gonna see a lot more justice done for the Inhumans this time around, and so I would definitely go with Fantastic Four all day.
Whew. This one, oh man, we might have to switch up how we do this because, like, I'm having a good time going last, man. But it also makes me think of like different things to say. First off, let's all be in agreement. The Inhuman show was terrible, like absolutely terrible. I remember watching the first episode, and the girl I was dating at the time, I remember she went, "What is this?" Like in a bad way. She was like, "What is this?" Right? It was that bad. It didn't connect. And I always say, the things that really make things connect is like, when the people who aren't comic book collectors or goers like us, when those people go, that makes it a huge success, right? And that's how you build the community and things like that. I think they missed on that, but I also think that they're gonna come back. I truly do. I think Black Bolt, it's got a huge future. If you've read the books, if you open your comics and you know anything about Black Bolt, Medusa, things like that, like Black Bolt is just huge, too huge to
Lockjaw.
Lockjaw. It's just too big not to have it. Especially, we had rumors with Illuminati and things like that. For me, this is an easy one. It is Fantastic Four, not simply because of preference or price. I mean, it is lower or it's higher, but I don't know, man. You can't go wrong either way. I'm just going preference. I love Fantastic Four. Here's what I'll say about the ASM book, though. And Face, I've said this, and I think we kind of went back and forth like a few months ago about it, but I don't think Mysterio's dead.
No.
When I left that movie in the theater that day, I was like,
No way.
Mysterio's not dead.
Oh yeah,
So-
you
No way.
would almost think that it's guaranteed they're gonna want to bring him back for the Sinister Six. I mean, obviously, yeah, they're implying right now that he's dead, but he's a pretty important part of the Sinister Six. So I imagine that he'll come back.
Yeah.
They also cast a guy who costs a small fortune in every movie,
Right, exactly.
for a reason, and probably sold him on a few pictures too. So
Yeah, exactly. And whether that is like, half a movie, 10 minutes in a movie, regardless, like I think he's going to be there. I also think that, where I was going with it is like the illusions they played. That movie was really well done. Like I kind of had my question marks about that movie, how they were going to kind of like make the character in the fight scenes and stuff like that. But the way they did it was like unreal. I always give them credit for that. I think it's something that is not really talked about a lot, but they did a really good job with that character. And again, like Chris said, they didn't just get like your, D-list guy. They got like an A to B list actor. So just saying.
Dude, I remember the reaction when he was doing the whole illusion thing in the Spider-Man movie in the cinema. When it got to Tony Stark's grave, everybody was like, it was dead silent, man. Everybody just gasped, and it was, oh my god. And then he pops up. It was so sick.
So I don't know. Unfortunately, Rey Mysterio is not making it to the final. For a clean sweep, Fantastic Four Inhumans. We will see you in the final.
Nice.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh, my side hurts.
We got first appearance of Shang-Chi, whichever way you want to say it, versus Mr. Luke Cage.
Just 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I guess this is the perfect time to let you guys know.
I knew it. I knew it.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Crazy.
I just got those yesterday.
Congrats, yo.
Thank you. God damn you. Okay, I'm just gonna throw it on the table. I will pick Master of Kung Fu. First appearance, Shang-Chi. Simply, I think he long term. I think he is a more like relevant character long term. I love Luke Cage, and I do believe he's going to come back to the MCU, and I do believe he's going to do great things. I have a hard time believing that he's going to be as big of a part of, like, I actually think the Masters of the Kung Fu universe is going to have a universe within the the Marvel universe. I think it's going to be its own world. We haven't seen the movie, but it feels like they're building like compartmentalized Marvel universes. Like there's going to be a street level, kind of like Iron Fist and Luke Cage and Daredevil and all that. But Luke Cage can never really be in charge of all that because there's Daredevil and other guys. But at the same time, Shang-Chi, if they do a little universe for that world, he'll always be the Iron Man of that world. And that's just what I think. Anyway, I'm going to pick Shang-Chi. That's just how I feel. I do love the Luke Cage, as you can tell. But I'm picking that one.
Yeah, same thing, man. Luke Cage is a huge character, somebody I truly love. But with where we're headed right now with everything, like, you can't not look at that master of Kung Fu, man. So yeah, 100%. That's my pick as well.
Well, one of the things that I guess the advantage that Shang-Chi would have over Luke Cage is that, like, as far as like the MCU goes and everything like that, you know, Shang-Chi sort of opens up that whole mystical martial arts side of the MCU, and you know, that's kind of its own, like you said, its own little universe, its own little franchise and everything like that. And because he's the first, he's going to be one of the big centerpieces of that. Luke Cage, while in my opinion, you know, he's the cooler character in the comics and everything like that. You know, I like Luke Cage more. He doesn't really open up as much potential for the MCU, and he probably won't have as huge of a role in you know, like, whenever they do, I think ultimately bring him back in. You know, he'll probably play in that sort of street level character, you know, playing field or whatever. But yeah, and while he will be one of the, you know, the big characters and everything, I don't necessarily know that they're going to center, you know, a whole lot around him like they probably will with Shang-Chi. So yeah, I'm going to go with Shang-Chi.
100%.
Oh man. Okay, so after the first trailer of Shang-Chi, I remember, you know, in our group chat, me being like, yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm not really a fan. Like, it didn't really blow me away. I wasn't really like, oh yeah, okay, can't wait to see this twice. Once that second trailer dropped, that was a completely, you know, different thing for me. There was so much going on. We finally got to see the Mandarin, the true Mandarin, 10 rings, everything like that. So I was super pumped for it. The book is actually a regret of mine because me and Hyper were actually looking at buying one. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he was, but he was telling me that, you know, he was thinking about it for the longest time before that trailer. Like an 8.0 was like $750, $800, which in, you know, relatively, you know, in reality, that's not that much in a way, like looking back on it, where it is now. I mean, now an 8.0 I think is like 1,800, somewhere around there. So like, you could have doubled your money. Luke Cage, great character. The show was awesome. I like Chris, I do believe he's coming back. The one thing that I think is going to hurt this argument is the fact that we've never seen anything like Shang-Chi. So for that, my vote is going there. I'm interested to see what this world looks like. It's going to be amazing. And again, 10 rings Mandarin, man. So we finally get the Mandarin. That's my pick.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, somebody said in chat, Agents of the Atlas is another potential, you know,
big book, man,
that they're gonna, you know, pull away from Shang-Chi. So
yeah, and not to mention, both of these guys, I mean, are gonna probably bring in their buddy Iron Fist, right? I mean, if Shang-Chi successfully could fit in, and they could see how it should be. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I saw the second trailer of Shang-Chi, I thought, man, if they would only do this with Iron Fist, they would have had a success with Iron Fist. But Marvel doesn't really miss on a lot, but they did.
That was all done by, that was Perlmutter, though. That was run by a different guy. Yeah. It's all the Netflix stuff. That stuff was hit and miss just simply because it wasn't really MCU stuff.
I was actually disappointed that they weren't keeping Mike Coulter as Luke Cage, though, man. He was fucking awesome.
Well, I mean, hey, Mikey Sutton says that they're keeping that actor for it, so I don't know.
Oh, really? Because I know I heard that they were keeping Jessica Ritter and Charlie Cox, but
I heard him too. So I don't know. I hope he's more Power Man this time. You know, I want to see that side of it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
love
and that's
Luke Cage.
true. Actually, like Ultra Maximus just said in the comics, Danny Rand's not Iron Fist anymore. So,
Oh, interesting.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they do it, but we'll see.
But by the
All
way,
right,
that's tough. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jenny,
Was that a clean sweep? Clean sweep or no?
I think it was a clean sweep.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
we only had. I think it was
a reluctant queen sweep.
Yeah, very.
We got 2 more to go, and hopefully they get harder. I can't remember what I put, but yeah. So Shang-Chi will be seeing you in the final. Number 9.
Oh,
We've got Mr. Deadpool, which ironically enough, he had is it a trailer? No, he had a skit, let's say, come out today versus Mr. Ghost Rider.
yep.
Fuck.
I know.
I mean, the obvious one would be to pick Marvel Spotlight 5, which I just got my first copy of recently, and it's off to
Nice.
CGC. So I'm super stoked about
Nice.
that. Yeah, I know. I can't wait. But saying that, as Joel knows, I'm a huge believer in Deadpool, and I still think that book's super undervalued. And the only reason it didn't get the rise in value, I mean, it did rise in value quite a bit in the last year, but comparatively to things like, I really think this book should, if ASM 300 is worth what it's worth, this book should be worth that too. I know I'm going to have people coming at me over that, but it was, if you go back to, I'm old enough to remember the 90s and the 2000s, like like a lot of us are, and Deadpool was like the biggest goddamn thing ever. He was huge, and you know, I think if the MCU grabs a hold of him and they do it right, and he starts really parlaying into meeting Wolverine and meeting other characters, he could be just as iconic and huge. So anyway, I reluctantly have to say, oh man, this is a tough one.
Yep.
Long term, I think Deadpool. I'm gonna pick that. I think Ghost Rider, that Marvel Spotlight 5 is one of the most iconic 70s books ever, and my gut wants to pick it. But if I was gonna say culturally long term, I think the MCU is gonna turn Deadpool into like the next Wolverine. It's gonna be huge.
100%. 100%. I agree with everything you're saying, as always so far.
I am a genius, you know that, right?
But I always ask myself, if, like, let's say if Ghost Rider would come into the MCU right now, like, would they go like Johnny Blaze? Would they go Robbie Reyes? Like, who would they bring in as Ghost Rider? Because we've seen it with other characters. We just finished saying like Ant-Man. They went straight to Scott Lang, right? So I look at the timeline and I'm like, who would they bring in? That's my question.
Well, in fairness, though, Johnny Blaze didn't beat his wife, so
Jesus.
True.
like Marvel was never gonna really touch a Hank Pym storyline that might go there. So
I get it, but I mean, if you're gonna talk about that, then yeah, sure, 100%, you're right. So, but
I'm just saying.
personally, my favorite character between the two is Deadpool, and he's got tons of legs still to go. And for everything Chris said, same thing. I would go with the New Mutants.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard one, man.
Glad I made it.
I love Deadpool. He's one of my favorite characters for sure.
Yep.
I love Ghost Rider too. But man, it just like the Deadpool is hella easy to find. From you know, like I always see copies of it on sale. Whereas the Ghost Rider in good condition is, you know, it tends to be harder to find. So I think based on that, I'm probably leaning Spotlight 5. You know, obviously there's more value in Spotlight 5 right now. But like you guys both have said, you know, there is a lot of potential for Deadpool, even with the high print run.
Yep.
People are still fucking buying them up. Like
Hulk
people
21
out there, they're
had
just hoarding the
480.
shit out of them. Yeah, so I mean, you know, there's obviously value there. But yeah, I think Marvel Spotlight 5, being that it's so much harder to find, is just going to hold a higher value.
Yeah.
Ultimately, so yeah, I think I'll go with Spotlight 5 because I think we're going to see Ghost Rider too, and he's going to be fucking dope. So,
Well, if you guys remember early on, I think it was round 3 where I took the Riddler So if I were to have that book, I'm selling it the next day. I'm making $450,000. So when I'm making this pick, money is not an option. But this one, I'm going with probably the more iconic one. I get how how sought after that Marvel Spotlight book is right now. Ghost Rider is coming. Yeah, Midnight Sun's probably going to be a thing. He's going to be around. But when you look back, when you look back, I don't think Ghost Rider is going to have the same cultural appreciation as Deadpool, like Chris said. I think Deadpool is probably this is the Copper book. Chris, what's the line that you always say? This is the AF-15 of Copper, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I think TMNT #1 is that, but
But
saying that, I think this is the Hulk 181 of the Copper Age. I think people haven't realized yet. And after watching what's happened with the run up on the first Venom, with and there's a movie coming, and like people just went fucking crazy for that book and took it up to 10K for a bit. It's not 10K anymore, but it was for a few minutes.
Wow.
I think the same thing's going to happen to this in the next year.
Yeah.
When we see what they're going to do with him, or we even get a hint that he's like standing next to Wolverine or standing next to whatever character, it's like, and he's just or he just randomly shows up in a Marvel movie, and he will. The world's going to fucking explode.
Yeah, X Factor as well.
Even a cameo, like he's just going to walk into a scene one day,
guys. Technically,
he showed up with Korg today.
That's right.
I bet if you go look at fucking prices right now, they're on the rise.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. If you haven't seen it, go see it. But I thought it was hilarious when he goes, Krog, what do I got to do to get into the MCU? And Krog's response is actually, he's like, you have a dream. You got to chase that dream. You got to sacrifice everybody you love, and then you realize that dream failed, and then you do all this work and hard work, and you come home, and you realize your agent has a call for you, and the call is, "Hey, Marvel wants to talk to you." So that's the way I would go with it. I thought it was hilarious.
So good.
Hilarious. Well,
he forgot the most important part: selling your soul.
Yeah, selling your soul. Yeah, Deadpool's taking it. So, guys, we've come to the final round in this semifinal. So Deadpool is moving on to the final. Krong. Oh fuck.
Here we go.
Newbieverse.
Krong.
Yeah, I was gonna let chat have that one.
Man, come on, guys. I already did Mass Bunny. I did Dorothy.
Mass Bunny's solid.
I had people messaging me being like, dude, what are these characters you're posting? It's like, oh, you got to watch the show. Like, it's
so good.
How it happens. But yeah, Ryan hit it right on the dot. It's the newbieverse, people. All right. Oh, shoot, my things. All right. So final round number 10. Now, guys, this one is going to be very hard. No. Scratch that. This one might be easy.
What the fuck?
It's hard. It's hard to put one of these books against another. It really is. And you guys will see what I'm saying.
You apparently did it.
I know. It's very difficult. And I knew that when this book, like, you guys got to remember, this book beat out AF-15. Okay?
Ooh.
This one's going to be hard. But guys, round 10 of the books that were left, this is the best I could do at matching it for what it could be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Yeah, this is close.
Oh, fuck.
It's easy. This is an easy one.
But it is. What was I supposed to do? Put this up against fucking,
right?
Or ASM 50? Like it.
No, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be next week.
Yeah.
It's an easy one. It really is an easy one. It's Captain America all day long. It is. No, it's not even a contest. And I'll say it. It's like we've chatted about like first issues and things like this. This is the first issue of Batman. It's not his first appearance. It's not, it's the Black Panther #1 from the 70s versus FF52, which is Detective 27, which, Black Panther #1. Yeah. Captain America #1. It's the first appearance of Captain America. It's like one of the most culturally relevant characters that is in the MCU. It's got an incredible cover. I will say that Batman cover is incredible too. But that Captain America cover is just as cool, and it's it's first appearance of Captain America. That's all there is to it. Done. That's all there is to it. Versus like just a first run of a series. No big deal. No big deal.
Dude.
This is where Chris is just gonna pull out like 4 of them. He's like, "Look, I got 4 of them."
No. I mean, price wise, obviously, it's fucking insane. What's it like a 9.0 go for in this? Like $1.5 million?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, but that's how I feel.
Guys, I think we reached that point where you see, newbie, when we started this, you said, you're like, yo, so you got a picture, you got a gun to your head, and you got to pick one. And this is the part where the guy pulled the trigger on me because I can't do it. I can't do it. But, fuck. All right. Sincerely, that Batman book, I would do anything to own.
Anything?
No, not anything. Relax, guys. Relax, guys. But I mean, the Cap cover, dude, it's Kirby. You know what I mean? It's and Cap, it's a first Cap, the most iconic, probably the biggest hero in America. You know what I mean? It is what it is, and he's knocking the shit out of Hitler, bro, during one of the most fucked up times. So I'd go Cap 100%. It's probably the bigger cover, dude. It's the bigger book. It is in my opinion. It is.
Ooh, boy.
It is. It just is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we already know like what's gonna win this at this point, I think. But yeah, I'm going Batman. It's the first appearance of the Joker, my favorite villain. I'm definitely not voting against it, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And those price tags, I mean, yeah,
for sure.
I can sell if I really wanted to that first Joker, even at like that 5.0 and get a couple of them fucking caps in a medium grade. So I love Cap, but Joker's my favorite villain, so I got to go Batman.
I've already made enough money on that Riddler book, so money's no object right now. I'm kidding. If you're tuning into the show, like that was a joke from like okay, no, that'd be a bad time to come in like, oh, newbies talking about money. Okay, I get it. It is Batman 1. Like Chris said, though, it is not the first appearance of Batman. It's got that Black Panther 1, not FF52. Going up against Captain America and Bucky Barnes. You guys didn't say that. It is the first appearance of Bucky Barnes as well. Captain America hitting Hitler. I forget who I was talking to, but he was more on the Golden Age side, and he was saying, that war stuff, that Hitler stuff, that Wastika stuff, like all that stuff generates money. So like when you look at it comparatively, I mean, either one of these books is going to get you money. I get the fact that it's the first appearance of Joker and Catwoman. I like Joker, but I kind of like Bucky Barnes a bit more. I know you guys are probably going to be like, what the fuck? But like, I don't know. You can't go. I don't think you can go wrong. Like I said, like somebody came up to me on the street and was like, pick one. Can't go wrong with either or. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there is a video of somebody who actually had this book, the Captain America book, and he actually traded it. I think it was a 2.0, and he actually traded it for like a 2021 Corvettes, like the Sport Edition, and some cash. YouTube video of it. I mean, I don't know, dude.
Guy's a fucking idiot.
So I don't know. I get the iconicness of Batman, but for me, I'm going Captain America, Bucky Barnes. So I guess, yeah. I think no more Batman in the finale. So that's
half the chat is about to unsub.
But
really.
Newbie, I do want to point out what Dan just said in the comments, because that changes the game for me. If I have to go first Batman or first Cap, 100%, I'm going detective.
But keep in mind, if we're actually sitting in a room where we're looking at these two books as a viably that I could put money down and purchase one of them, it means I could probably go after a Detective 27 at a later date, or I've already got it. So that's why I wouldn't pick this Batman one over it.
Exactly.
Because Detective 27 will always beat it. So
Now again, it's all for fun, right? Like that's the important thing. It's all opinionated. You know, it's always interesting to see what people will pick and not pick. I mean, if you go back to some rounds, I mean, you know, there were some people that took crazy stuff, you know, and even in some of the previous rounds, like, there were some that were just like, you know.
Yeah.
But it's all preference. It's all what you have. You know, who knows? Maybe some people in the chat have Batman 1 already, so they don't want to.
Shit.
You know, like, who wants double that, right?
Yeah.
Is there anyone in chat that has a Batman 1? Just shout it out right now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah. But hey, that's the show. That is the first semifinal. So we will have another semifinal with the other 20 books that made it to obviously the semifinal. So that'll be in about 4 weeks' time. Chris, I want to thank you for hopping on. Dude, you've got some really good stuff coming. If nobody's paying attention to Chris's Instagram, I suggest you go and make sure. He's got a lot of spec stuff. He does a lot of videos. When he unboxes CGC. Like Chris, you know.
actually, I'm doing one tomorrow with Automatic Comics, Ryan, and Omega Reed. Or Red. So I think we're doing it at 7 Pacific time tomorrow.
7 Pacific would mean it is 10 p.m.
No,
Eastern.
sorry. I think it might be earlier than that. I don't know. It's around there. I'll have it figured out. It'll be on my IG.
Yeah. So make sure you guys go tune in. You can find Chris on Instagram at Vancouver Comic Junkie. It's that simple. Don't hesitate to follow him and follow his YouTube channel. He's gonna have more content coming out. So yeah.
And if anyone has a problem with anything I said tonight, come to IG and talk to me about it.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. You can actually. I don't mind. Say hi.
I was watching Black Widow, and because we've been talking for a very long time. We're cool. You're like my big bro out west. When I was watching Black Widow last night, I have to admit, I turned to my girl and I was like, Red Guardian is like Chris. He said that, dude, I was just like when he was doing the arm things and he's telling all these stories. I was like, yeah, this is Chris when he's had too much wine in the backstage.
My wife literally said the same thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's a thing. I just don't have the beard anymore.
BC, thank you again for tuning in or for coming on. I keep saying tuning in. Thank you for coming on. You guys are going to see BC again on Sunday when we do our new comic book day news and we talk about Loki. But BC, you got anything coming up on your end that you want to talk about? Let us know.
Well, no, Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays. That's when I'm on YouTube. I'll be Sundays with Newbie, Monday with Face, and then back on Tuesdays with Newbie. You could always check me out on Instagram as well, Black Crown _ comics, sorry. And yeah, that's me.
There you go. And Face, of course, last but not least, Mr. Previously On. Let the people know what you got coming up on your end, sir.
Yeah, for sure. You can check us out every Monday on Previously On at 7 p.m. Eastern. We do it. We're usually on time for the most part, but every now and then we, run about 5 minutes late, so it's not too bad. Same thing you get with the Newbie show. But yeah, you can check us out there for sure. You can hit me up on IG. This week we're gonna have another special guest or two coming on, and gonna wait to announce who they are. But it's gonna be a good conversation. It's pretty relevant, actually, having to do with something that everybody's seeing all over IG this week, and having to do with comic book pricing and retail shops and everything like that. So we're gonna have some discussion on that stuff with our guests. Perfect.
And you guys already know where I am Sundays and Tuesdays, 9:30 or 9:35 p.m. Eastern time. I will be hanging out with some other channels in the near future. But like I said, we got Mr. Sith Lordy from Spine Takes joining us next week. We got Ryan at Automatic Comics joining us. Chris is going to be on again. I'm probably going to have one or two of the guys from 3 Men in the Basement. If you don't know 3 Men in the Basement, you're missing out. Okay, so go check them out. If you don't know Ryan, of course, you should know him already because he was on the show about 2 weeks ago. He'll be coming back. So make sure you guys go sub and support everybody. I'll leave you on this. Again, if you got a comic book store and you have a sign that says, we will reprice your books when you come to the counter, just know I'm walking out. And I'm going to grab like 1,000 books and bring them up, and halfway through I'm be like, you know what, I'm out. I don't even want any of them. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Happy new comic book day. Hopefully everybody's spec or pick for the Loki villain comes true. Don't spoil
Sure,
it.
that's not gonna happen.
Mephisto.
Have your pets bathed or neutered. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
All right, Bob.
Bob Barker.
I'm just kidding. Guys, are out there. You just gotta keep searching. Later.